Good day, viewers. On today's Youth Arena program, we shall be bringing you another episode of the youth involvement in Nigerian politics. This is reaching you from the Advent Cable Network Nigeria, and I am your host, Juliet Onwumere. Up until that hashtag #EndSARS protest, the Nigerian youth have been labeled politically aloof, leaving politics mostly for people of older generations. Yes, older generations. They call it gerontocracy. Yet, clamoring for change without active decision to drive home what they actually want. Now, let's bring it to a roundtable discussion. And my question is, what do the Nigerian youth want from the Nigerian government? To answer this question with me in the studio are Honorable Isaac Owoicho, a consultant, writer, and a motivational speaker, and Mr. Peter Ushe, a social commentator. You're welcome to the studio, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome,
Juliet.
Mr. Peter.
Thank you.
You're looking great today.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Oh, Honorable, I'm meaning to ask, what conferred that title as an honorable member?
All right. I once ran for the position of a councillor in Nyanya. I ran with Honorable Matuyari, and it's by reason of running for that election that I became honorable as a candidate of a political party. But afterwards, I stepped down because I discovered that the dream that I nursed, the change that I had nursed all my life, was found in Honorable Matuyari.
Wow.
So I don't think I will ever run against him anymore.
Wow.
Because he has been able to represent that vision, that dream that I've anticipated. For a whole lot of persons, they actually run because they are power drunk. But for me, I ran for change. And that change is coming alive through him, so there is no need to run again.
I tell you, that is a legacy you left. Unlike some persons that would want to struggle the power with their opponents. I thank you. I commend you for that.
Thank you so much.
All right, Mr. Peter, what is your interest in policy? How would you rate your interest in policy as a youth?
There are different levels of interests.
Okay.
I would say my interest in politics is an active one. Let me just leave it at that.
Okay.
It's an active. There are people that are passive when it comes to politics.
Okay.
I am actively involved in politics. I also vie for positions when I have opportunity.
Okay.
Although in the national space, I have not registered my name.
Okay.
But back then in student unionism.
Guys, SUG.
Yes.
Okay.
I did my best.
All right. That's a good one. And I'm not left out. I might be an honorable member someday.
Sure,
okay, let's answer this question. What do the Nigerian youth want from the Nigerian government? Honorable, please help us.
Well, I would say that question shouldn't be asked in the first place in a system where we find order and we find visionary leaders. That question shouldn't even come. Because for every leader that comes on board, he or she, or as a system, should know that you are there for a particular system to work. So I would say Nigerian youth want everything from the Nigerian government in all ramifications. The Nigerian youth should be attended to. The Nigerian youth want education. They want opportunities to work. Because if you look around here, for me, Nigerian youth are the most hardworking youth in the world. Little wonder when you find them in any part of the world, you see them excelling. Simply because the system they find themselves is conducive enough for them to bring out the best in them.
Of course.
So if such system comes to play here in Nigeria, you see the best out of every Nigerian youth.
Yes.
You understand? So Nigerian youth want everything. and it is not being begged for. It is a right.
Yeah. And you know, in economics,
is
they
a
say
right.
everything being equal, that ceteris paribus.
Of course.
Now, these things are not being equal. That's why we are asking that question.
Okay.
What do the Nigerian youth want? Okay, look at the ASU strike that is trending. In every year, ASU goes on strike. It's as if it's a culture.
Lady Juliet, is quite unfortunate that we have to, at this stage of our political experience, still be talking about education at this level.
Very, very appalling.
Any nation that fails to give the best in education to its citizenry is a failing nation already. Because when the people are not informed, they are deformed.
Of course.
And when you have deformity in the people, you have a deformed system. You understand? And when you have a deformed system, you produce a cankerworm system. You produce a system that is prone to collapse
Of course.
at any time.
Of course.
So at this stage of our political experience, the ASU strike has lingered too long. Nigeria should have grown beyond this stage at this point of our political experience.
Yeah.
So I think Nigerian youth deserve more than they are getting at the moment.
Okay, that's the reason we're asking these questions. Okay, let me ask Mr. Peter, being that he also said that his interest in politics is active, is an active one. So let's see, in these past years of political apathy roaming around among the youths of today, how would you say, looking into the hashtag #EndSARS protest, how would you say this has increased their interest in politics, viewing the coming 2023 election?
If the youth were sleeping politically before, they are waking up now.
Okay.
They are, you know, when they compare themselves with their counterparts in other climes and they see what is obtainable over there and back, and when they look at themselves here, they feel that they are not getting enough, and this is as a result of poor leadership.
Okay.
And the only way to change the narrative is to get involved in this whole thing. And with the #EndSARS protests, there are lots of movements, mobilization,
Okay.
in order to educate other youths about the forthcoming elections, because that's the only tool that they can use to change the narrative. They are engaging themselves on social media. They are going to get registered in the INEC database to get their PVC, and they are just warming up for 2023 to come. So I feel if they were sleeping before, they are
away. And
they are
talking
waking.
about PVC, everything has gone online now. You can register online. No
Yes.
more standing on the queue waiting for some other persons to come before getting your
Before
PVC.
getting-
That's a good one. That's a good one. And we hope to have a. But and one thing the youth should know. I just want to chip in something, that they should have this solidarity.
Yeah.
That they should stand where when they say this is what we want, let it be what we want, and say let our yes be our yes. And now, Honorable, we just concluded the FCT election. They say FCT decides, and I know that in the Abuja Municipal Area Council, Honorable Christopher Zaka won the chairman of AMAC. So how would you view the election? Would you say it was a free and fair election? Was there any form of rigging?
Well, talking about free and fair election in Nigeria, I would say for now, to some extent, that sounds like a mirage. However, taking statistics on the just finished election, one would say that it was a free and fair election
Okay.
based on general analysis. That does not mean there were no shortcomings in the course of the election,
Okay.
which of course over the years have been normal in our on our political stage. But I think Abuja is a peculiar place. Amak, to be precise, and to be specific, areas like Nyanya, Karo, these are the most unique places you would want to experience an electoral process.
Like based on
Here
test
you find
population.
young people voting and not leaving their votes in the hands of INEC. They stay with their vote, protect their vote. I think we left the collation center as late as 12 to 1 a.m. That is how much we fight for our rights. Do you understand? So on the overall, I would say it was a free and fair election. And the winner that emerged deserved it. And that's why he was given.
Just to go through that,
Yes.
Zaka pulled 19,302 votes as to Usman, who pulled 13,240 votes. And it's far different. That the figure is well. You can see that the winner is well declared.
Of course.
It's an interesting one. And we hope that 2023 also will give us what we actually. When you said that when you go to the areas, Nyanya and the rest, to tell you the truth, the youth have they
have awakened
now.
Yes.
On their feet to see that this country will come back to that system that they actually want. That we, I'm not excluded, we actually want. And another question is going by the request of the youth to disengage the anti-robbery squad, that's NSAS. Do you think that this has stopped the inhuman treatment going on in the country?
You know, I have always said, and I'll keep saying it until the narratives are changed.
Okay.
Nigeria is a system. It has nothing to do with an individual or with a particular group. When a system is properly defined from its root, everything about every entity or every fabrics of that system aligns with the existing order. So talking about the anti-robbery squad, yet having the issues ongoing in the country, I would say that the only solution is that we must learn to be honest with ourselves, starting from the top. Now we have a system where meritocracy is not enthroned. And when you don't have meritocracy being enthroned, you discover, if I want to be wild, I would say you have idiots running the affairs of the nation. And when you have the wrong people running the affairs, you discover no matter how hard you work, how hard you try to change a system, it will always retrogress back to where you started from. You understand? So first, I would like us to know that we have a fundamental problem. And if I'm going to leave a question here for us to work on in subsequent meetings, I would say, what is the Nigerian dream? And how well has that Nigerian dream been sold out to the younger generation and to every fabrics of the economy or the system? The truth of the matter is that you seated here, you can't tell me of any particular Nigerian dream. Every child in America wakes up and tells you, God bless America, because they have a dream, properly defined, well defined. So until we define ourselves, we'll continue to have these ills in our society.
All right. Thank you. So you should have a dream. The Nigerian government should have a dream, and it should be imbibed in each and every citizen.
Of course.
That's a good one. Mr. Peter, going by the request of the youth to dissolve the anti-robbery squad, that is Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SAS, and it seems as if the Nigerian government kind of dissolved it and brought in SWAT, right? Now, would
It's just
you,
a change
it's
of
just
name.
a change of name,
Not a change of
okay.
the system.
Exactly.
That's
Now,
the problem.
did this actually put to a stop human rights abuse? Because we hear of abuse of guns, abuse of this, illegal, whatever, every day. What do you think about it?
You have said this all already. When this call came, those in authority were in a haste to change the name from whatever it was to whatever they gave it now.
Okay.
That's not a proper way of changing the organizations or departments of this kind. What I expected from those in position was to holistically understand what these demands are.
Okay.
And form policies or guidelines that will regulate the conduct of whatever they want to form.
Okay.
The subsequent group that they are forming, they should have proper documents stipulating their do's and don'ts,
Okay.
incorporating the demands of the protesters.
Okay.
But this was not done. The Nigerian youth protested, and the next minute we were hearing that, oh, this group has been disbanded and another group has emanated.
As what?
As whatever. There are still cases of human rights abuses happening every day in this country. As young as I am now, for instance, I can't really drive a good vehicle
Okay.
yet to Lokoja successfully without being accosted on the road and being asked all manner of questions, being delayed unnecessarily, and so on and so forth. There are so many. There are cases of people's accounts being frozen. There are cases of people, their travel documents were seized,
Okay.
which is an infringement on their freedom of movement.
Oh, of course.
So these are things, they are still with us. Nothing has changed, actually. So I would say nothing has changed.
And this is one of the things that the Nigerian youth are asking the
Absolutely.
federal government to do, that they should look into it. And at least there are actions that these security personnel take that need to be called by the federal government. They should put restriction on them. All right. We have to relate. I hope the people that matters in authority are watching us from this end. And on this note, we'll be going on a short break. Viewers, you've heard it. Our Honorable said that the Nigerian government should have a dream, and this should be imbibed in each and every citizen so that we'll know where we are heading to and to have a working system. Sit back, relax. We'll be going on a short break.
On this show, we focus on the journey from girlhood to womanhood and everything in between.
You hear such comments like it's not ladylike because there is a way a lady should behave.
Please don't ask a man out. I beg you. We are so cultured that the day you do,
It is in that place of fellowship that you get to discover all these things.
You discover yourself.
Yes.
Biology-wise, women are able to progress faster into addiction than the men.
Don't crucify the woman for wanting financial security.
Remember, every woman is worthy by design.
All right, welcome back viewers on the show. This is still the Youth Arena program. Before we went on a short break, Mr. Peter was trying to tell us that instead of the government dissolving the Special Anti-Robbery Squad and bringing in squads, they should have looked into the request of the populace and to say, curtail the do's and don'ts and the manner at which these people abuse human rights, instead of giving it a new name. And the system is still running as it was before. And welcome back, Mr. Peter. And welcome back, Honorable. And we are going to go on the second request by the youth. They state that they should disband the bicameral legislature and adopt a unicameral legislature. So throw more light on this, because a layman out there wouldn't understand what a bicameral legislature is.
Well, this is government in expression. And it is expedient that we teach our youth, irrespective of whatever they study, government and governance.
Okay.
You understand? We have the bicameral legislature and we have the unicameral legislature. And when you talk about bicameral legislature, you are talking about two houses,
Okay.
especially in the federal system of government, where you have possibly the Senate and the House of Rep. You understand? Usually, from an historic point of view, the bicameral system of governance actually operates in a large country.
Okay.
You understand? And the essence of this bicameralism is not for misappropriation of unnecessary expenditure of funds,
Okay.
but rather for equitable distribution of resources, because that is the essence of politics.
Okay.
You understand? Though I'm not totally against the existence of bicameralism,
Okay.
even though it is one of the requests made. Rather, what we should be advocating for is honesty,
All right.
fairness, and justice as a people. Because I would rather have too many good people, you understand,
Yeah.
than have one good person. Where you have too many good persons helping you to run your affairs, there will be rapid and speedy development.
Okay.
And that is the essence of these two houses. They all have their advantages and their disadvantages.
Okay.
In a bicameral system, where you discover one of the houses is becoming too obnoxious in its dealings, the obnoxious dealings of the house is curtailed by the second house. And that is an advantage.
Yeah, they serve as a watchdog.
So, yes,
Okay.
and you allow room for checks and balances.
Yeah.
Do you understand? That is the essence of bicameralism. You understand? But where you have a unicameral system in a corrupt society,
Okay.
I tell you, rather than things get better, things will get worse, because obnoxious bills will quickly be passed
And rule
into
of law will not be put
and
to
rules
check.
of laws will not be cross-checked.
Wow.
You understand? But when you have a unicameral system in a just country with a trustworthy leadership system, then you can enjoy unicameralism. So I would rather say we should get back to the table,
Okay.
look at our request critically.
Okay.
You understand? And do proper analysis.
I think honorable is trying to be a liberalist.
Okay.
What ought to be, rather than what is. Yes, on paper, what you are saying, I agree totally with everything you have said. But in the Nigerian context, you and I know that there is no checks and balances between the current House of Representatives and the Senate that we have. They are all
in one ship.
Nobody is checking
Each other.
Right, they are just doing appropriations
You
for
understand?
themselves.
So I feel, to me, the bicameralism is unnecessary, because we have over 300 legislators. Yeah, in the country, and
360.
360, and they go home.
109 Senate members.
Yes,
Imagine
reps.
that.
I mean, Senate members,
Yes.
yes.
So, I mean, the totality of them is over 300. And these people go home with decent amount of money every month from taxpayers' money. And one disadvantage of having this bicameralism is when there is need for urgent passage of bills into law, it is useless. So in the context of Nigeria, till we grow to the point where you are envisaging, but in the context of Nigeria, forget bicameralism.
Well, just like I earlier said, they both have their advantages and their disadvantages.
So let's put it on a scale. Let's wait.
Putting it on a scale, asking that the Nigerian government discredit the existence of the bicameral system or displace it, for me, that is not the point.
Okay.
Well, Honorable, you are already a politician. Probably you still need because you are from Benue, and Benue might have about 8 representatives in the federal House. So you are eyeing one of the positions.
Not really.
Let me you don't want it to be scrapped out.
Let me give more clarity.
Okay.
Let me give more clarity. Basically, what we need is a system that works. When the system works, everything works. If you go to Maitama, the best of Maitama, even if you are coming from the dirtiest place, one of the dirtiest places in Abuja, your instinct tells you automatically that where you are is a different place.
Okay.
So automatically with your dirty habits, you naturally conform with the system in Maitama because the system already speaks for itself.
Okay.
Do you understand? But if you are from Maitama and you find yourself in a ghetto within Abuja, with that consciousness of neatness, possibly you are taking a sachet of water, unconsciously, it's easier for you to throw it on the ground because that system already speaks for itself. Do you understand?
Of course.
So what we need at the moment is not bicameralism or unicameralism. That is not the issue here.
Okay.
But what we are talking about is that good leadership that understand the need to cater for the welfare of its citizenry. Do you understand? Because if your House of Rep is ready to work and your senator is ready to work, it's a plus.
Okay.
They are given appropriations, allocations, not for themselves. And that's why I say we must learn to be honest with ourselves.
Right.
You see, within the Nigerian constitutional framework, they tell you that the salary is so small. But the allowances is in fact.
That's where the youth, I think that's the reason why the youth said
so
they
what
should
we are
cut
now,
it down.
what I'm saying now is that honest, but at the same time, Nigerian problem is quite fundamental.
All right.
Almost the citizens, a particular constituency, once you become a senator or House of Rep, they just depend on you, believing that their lives, their destinies now depend on you.
Oh my God.
Now you begin to imagine, why wouldn't these senators hoard money?
Okay.
And this rep hoard money? Because if they come to the constitution and they are not able to dash money to the people around, they are considered as stingy persons. So until the foundation is corrected, all these clamorings cannot actually take shape.
Okay.
You understand?
And that leads us to another thing we are talking about. Say they were also saying, should Nigeria adopt a regional governance structure or restructure the country to embrace true federalism and state autonomy? Should it adopt regional governance or to restructure the country to practice true federalism? Because I know that what we are practicing is not a true federalism. What do you have to say, Mr. Peter?
I think it's something that we have practiced. True federalism, regional government is something that has been practiced as far back as I think 63 or so. And we saw the results I mean, people were not interested in who is the president. There were the regional governments, regional institutions were more powerful than and attractive than what takes place in the center. You had Awolowo in the western region. You had Zik
in the eastern
region, and Ahmadu Bello in the northern region. And the achievements during the regional government, I think there are still something that we can hold on to till now. The Granite Pyramid of Kano is a product of the regional government. Today we are talking about having state policing, and it is looking as if it's a very difficult thing to do. But with this regional government, all these things can be achievable, and not everything that happens that people will now say, hey, the president. The regional government will be empowered and they will be strengthened to carry out certain responsibilities. The function of the center might be limited to maybe foreign policy, defense, and maybe currency.
Monitoring the affairs.
Not really. There is no light in your house. You're saying
calling federal government.
There is no Maggi in your house. You are calling. It's something that we've done. And every region progressed at their own pace. I mean, when you go to the west, then there was tobacco and cocoa and all those things. So I feel if we go back to that now, it is more beneficial than what we are having now.
Okay, all right.
I think I would like to speak on that maybe further.
Okay.
I agree with Mr. Peter on this one.
Okay.
Absolutely.
On this one.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
We have actually transcended from different levels of governance.
All right.
Parliamentary, which is the cabinet, you understand, presidential, regional system of operation. And this is not the time for us to begin to say which one works better. We've seen almost all of them. And we've seen the one that even does better. Even the military regime, that technically, arguably, can even be said to have even done better than the current democratic system we are in at the moment. You understand? So I believe the regional system works better for us. The reason is because it is easier to point finger at your leader when he fails, because it is almost synonymous to a grassroots system of leadership. You understand? It is that regional system that empowered the Yorubas under Obafemi Awolowo's leadership to have the best of the education. You understand? It was during the regional government we have the best of the practices, you understand, and norms and traditions that have been abandoned currently in Nigeria. If you go to Benue in those days, they were known with the best of the rice mills. Wow. If you go to Enugu, you have the coal. You understand? And of course, the Granite Pyramid he earlier talked about. You understand? So with the system we find ourselves now that has been politicized into a personal or tribalistic system of operation, I think the only way out for us at the moment is to revisit the regional government.
All right. Yes, and there's it's a very good one because I could remember historically then we have coal in the east and palm oil production, and which today this country, Malaysia, is growing with that today. So they also say the youth also asked the government to have 100% electoral reforms with electronic voting tied to our BVN and GSM. I don't know how that will be. Is it for them to curtail rigging or monitor how the elections are being counted?
You see, our intentions are always wonderful.
Okay.
Nigeria currently has one of the best policy making in the world. Wow. But implementation of these policies have always been our problem. You understand? So until we give attention to our intentions, you understand? Our intentions will always end in futility.
Okay.
You understand? Electronic voting, in modern world, you no longer take the queue anymore. Things are done in convenient manner. You don't have to keep people under the rain, under the sun, because you want them to vote anymore. But the truth of the matter is that for these things to work, we have prerequisites to these things. For electronic voting, because we are experiencing it partially, how fruitful has this system worked? And what are the factors affecting this electronic system of voting?
Okay.
First, we are contending with the issue of power, which is most fundamental for any economic development in the world.
Exactly.
Because electricity affects even your life.
Of course.
It affects every business. We are here because there's light.
Of course.
If this light goes off, everything goes off automatically. And for electronic voting, there are these instances we heard them said the battery, you understand, has gone down. And possibly they start running around looking for a generator. Is that okay? To power the system to work. So until we are able to attend to our basic social amenities, of which one of them is power, some of this, like currently in most part of the world, we talk about e-libraries.
Okay.
You no longer go to library, you see books on the shelves anymore. You have e-libraries everywhere, like in places like China and even in America. Do you understand? But the truth of the matter is that when that happens, what happens, the day you want the best of the research is the day you'll be disappointed the most in Nigeria. Why? Because the first thing that has not been settled has not been put in place. Do you understand?
Yes.
So talking about electoral reform, of which one of them is electronic voting, is key. It will curb rigging because it transmits automatically.
Okay.
And everywhere you are, you see what is going on.
Wow.
Transparency can actually be promoted. But then, are we ready? Are we fit? Are we in the position to honestly, you understand, and intelligently, you understand, implement and enjoy the dividends thereof? So you see, these are the problems.
No, I always say that these leaders know what the right thing to do. They do know. They know the right thing to do, but
and do you know why they know the right thing? I'll give you an instance. When I was serving as a copper, Mr. Peter, there was this particular election in Nasarawa region.
All right.
And they were supposed to give us money as coppers that worked for the election. Do you know what? Rather than pay the money into our accounts, according to the state INEC chairman, he said the money had been shared the previous day. So few coppers were called and given the money.
Wow.
So we heard, and then we got there. And on my way going, I met my fellow corps members at the gate, already given up to return back to their various destinations. I said, "How far now, guys?" And I never see the money. Then I heard them say, so they said they had shared the money a day before that day. I said, who said? And who collected the money? Did you get, out of 100%, only about 10% were given this money. Wow. And you have agreed to give up. Wow. So youth most times don't fight for their right in totality, and that is the problem. So do you know what happened at the end of the day? I said, me, I'm not going to give up that money. So we went back to the state INEC chairman. I went to his window and I began to blab. I wanted him to do what I wanted. When I began to blab, these wicked people, the bad people, they will not survive. God will punish them. Guess what happened? Right. Suddenly the man came out from his office. Who is the young man talking? I said, present, sir. He said, you are the one talking since. I'm going to report you to NYC. I said, what do you need to do that, sir? How do you intimidate a young man that is a member of Aluta?
And that one is so important to you. A young man that has been
involved in unionism. Not me.
Okay.
I've always been a hustler.
Okay.
So it wasn't myself I was fighting for. If I were the only one, I would have left that money.
You don't give up.
But why do you want to take the sweat of so many people because of corruption?
No.
So do you know what? To run it up, the man came out and I gave him my ID card. I said, this is what you need to report me. Then if you spend 1 week in this office, know that I wasted all my years in the university. The man called me in. He said, how much is even this money? I said, I know it's not much, but give us the remaining. He said, let's give you ×3 so that you will be going. You see, that is the problem.
Yes.
And I told him, if I were the only one, I wouldn't have been here. I'm only asking you to do the right thing. And he told me something. He said, if all Nigerian youth are like you, Nigeria will be a better place. That means you are right.
Yeah.
Our leaders know the truth.
Of course.
But they don't want the truth implemented
Yes.
because it will affect them.
All right. We'll come to that. Not accepting defeat. Now, the youth are saying they want inclusive government, including all tribes, regions, Nigeria, and 50% of youth involvement in charge of governance. So, Peter, you come in here because you have interest vying for the next president. So what would you say?
Well, the is a large space, and there are constitutional requirements for whoever is interested in contesting for whatever positions. If you feel you meet those requirements, fine, go ahead. I was watching the interview of the former vice president, who is also one of the presidential aspirants in the forthcoming elections. And one of the journalists asked that why don't they give youths chance to contest in the election? And it was like, it's an open space. If youths feel that they are more popular, they should just get the ticket and come and contest as well.
Okay.
So,
that statement is so
political.
It's so political. Thank you for that word.
It is a politically oriented
oh my God.
statement. Do you know why, sir? It is not an open space, Mr.
Yes.
Peter. Why is it not an open space? The space is just for those at the top there. How much do you have to buy the ticket in the first place? How much is the ticket a party? The only way out, if only the youth can come with a compromise, you understand, and form a solidarity movement, just like we earlier said. But as it is currently, the process of emerging as a youth candidate in Nigerian election is just like a camel passing through the eyes of the needle, which of course, almost impossible. So the electoral reform must encapsulate all of these things. There must be reduction, you understand, of buying tickets, political tickets, to vie.
Okay.
Does that have to do with the constitution of political parties?
Who own the political parties?
Okay, let me say the exact words the former president said. He said, it is a democracy. They too, that is the youth, can try. So that's the exact words. It is a democracy. They too can try. So when he said they too can try, it is not all the youth that have all the takes to
try.
Just like you say, to buy the ticket, run for election, and unless political parties will come out and say, we are endorsing these youth, pull them through. Because I see that they don't believe that the youth know the rudiment to this leadership. They believe that they know everything, how to maneuver things and play the politics.
It is going to be difficult. The leadership we have now cannot give you free tickets.
So you see, these are political statements.
But however, there could be subsidy for youths.
Okay.
That's the only way that they can.
That's just the only way.
All right. Now we are here. You crack your brain. This is riddle question time. And we have question 1 to 5. You're going to pick randomly. So I will start with Mr. Peter. So question 1 to 6, you pick any number. Then I ask you, you supply me with the answer.
3.
Question number 3. Have you been in a quiz competition before? Your mind will beat. All right, question number 3. The more you take, the more you leave behind. What are they?
The more you take,
the more you leave behind.
Behind. Distance. The more distance you take, the more distance you leave behind.
Nearly cannot kill a bird. Somehow, the answer is footsteps.
Oh.
The more you take, the more you leave behind. Okay. Let me give you half point. Honorable. Okay, choose your question. Question 3 has been answered. So we have 1 to 6, except 3.
Okay.
All right.
Youth should take the lead always. So I take number 1.
Number 1. Okay. Divide 40 by half and add 5. What is the answer?
From a layman point of view, one would say 25.
Okay, Peter, quickly pick your question.
Really? I thought it's going to be 1 question.
Just
I
two.
wonder.
Please try.
6.
Question number 6. You can't keep this until you have given it. You can't keep this until you have given it. What's that? And the bell.
I like
The
that.
answer
I
is.
like that question. It sounds like service.
Okay.
Service or loyalty.
The answer is promise.
Oh.
You can't keep it until you have given
Promise is synonymous to loyalty.
it.
You must be loyal to fulfill your promises.
You can keep this on
Okay. Let's say it's synonymous. Let me just give you half point.
Okay, at least.
All right, pick your last question.
Okay, question 5.
All right, question number 5. A woman gives an astronaut $1. The woman.
Mathematical questions.
Okay, let me come again. The woman gives an astronaut $1. The woman is the astronaut's sister, but the astronaut is not the woman's brother. Why?
The astronaut is not the woman's brother.
Peter, are you trying to crack your mind?
The woman. Take it again.
Okay. A woman gives an astronaut $1. The woman is the astronaut's sister, but the astronaut is not the woman's brother. Why?
Well, the reason is because women are always there for everyone. Do you understand? But the man is always for himself, most basically. That is the reason.
Half point. You're a political. The answer is sister, because it's a sister, so you're close to that.
You understand?
Oh my God! Thank you for taking our time to be here in the studio. It's fun having you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Okay, Peter, this goes to you before we run out. Question 4. What goes up and never comes down?
What goes up and never comes down? What is that? What goes up and never comes down? I don't know.
Your age.
Age?
Your age never goes up and
But I
never
would like to add,
Okay.
from the Nigerian contest,
Okay.
because I would like the president to hear this
right.
and help us. When prices go up in Nigeria, they don't come down. So the prices are like age. You understand?
Yeah, okay.
Because they are numbers.
Inflation in Nigeria never
they
comes
don't, they don't retrogress.
There's never a deflation.
They're
in
always
Nigeria.
progressive.
They're
in
always
nature.
progressing. Now they've made transports high for citizenry. All right, thank you once more. It's fun having you. All right, viewers, here we call it a wrap up on today's show. I want you to take home this. We should have a working system whereby even the citizen, a child, can say, this is the belief of the country. And also, we believe and we agree, I hope our fellow youth out there will agree with us, that we should have a regional government whereby the regions will be independent, according to my guest in the studio. I tell you, if you have lost interest in politics as a youth, this is the right time to take your stand and do not accept defeats. We will make this country work again. Until we come your way next time. Bye.